Good evening, people. I'm your host, Steve Holmes. I got my mic. Is it muted? No, I'm not muted. I'm good. Welcome to another episode of The Real. I'm your host, Steve Holmes. Thank you for joining me on another week. It's been a pretty eventful one, and we got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. And yeah, I don't really want to waste too much time. I was a little worried. I had a couple of guests I was trying to get on and trying to get scheduled today. Long story short, schedules just didn't work out, so I'll be carrying the whole entire show tonight. But good thing for you all is that I can be a little bit more engaged in the comment section, and we won't do the phone, the real hotline tonight, just because I think we got quite a bit to talk about. So I'm encouraging you all to please get in the comments and questions, comments, like don't be scared, hop in the comments, say what you got to say. We'll talk about it. I got a few cool things to talk about. We got a little bit of laundry to air out. Nothing too crazy, but we got to set the record straight on some things. All right, let's see who we got. The folks piling in. Gerard, what's up, my brother? That's the Ron right there. HBCU band talk. What's up, bro? And my sis Lucretia. How you doing? Thank y'all. These are some my faithful, what they call them, a faithful few in church. Yeah, appreciate y'all. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, we start the show off pretty much the same way every single week. We like to honor and give. First of all, give an honor to God. That's how they start in church. But yes, I thank the Lord for this opportunity, this platform that we have. But yeah, I do want to give actual honor to a few of my favorites. They're called the real MVPs. These are people who week in and week out, whenever we have a show, they reach in their pocket and they donate, and they $5, $10, $20. We've had some larger donations, but most of them range from $5 to $25. And we just, again, this is not a heavy lift to do the show, but because we go every week, every month, we do have some expenses and things that we have to take care of. Like, we have subscriptions, we've got equipment, we've got other fees and things we pay for to run this. And from what I know, you guys have been enjoying it. So we just ask politely, if you guys have it to give, maybe help us push the car down the road a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So Eric has given 2 times. Now let me clarify something here. I normally, because it's technically is this the second show in September? Because we had one last week. No, I think this might be the first show in September. I kept the August people on this list, and number one, so you guys can see that people really do support the show. But Eric has given twice in August, Vernon twice, Adrian twice, then Ron twice. Some of these are once in August, once in September. Jason, my brother Jason, Jamila, Gerard, Brian, Miss Tundra, Lenitra, Judy, Oscar, Sis Lucretia, Derek. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And I was thinking about it, man. Like, if you like really think about it, like, everybody always asking for money, And I say that understanding that I'm literally here asking for money, but I say that because I understand that you guys could give your hard-earned dollars to anybody. The school's asking for money, right? The church, they got tithes and offering every week. And so when people don't mind going into their pockets to support our cause and our show, I'm really appreciative of that. So I really am thankful, and just hope that you guys, again, that you see a return on your support financially to the show. So thank you. As always, 3 ways to support. Please, if you are watching this show for the first time and you have not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we go live, you know when the shows are getting ready to roll, you get alerts, all that good stuff, but also it helps us grow our audience. So that is critical for us, not just here on YouTube, but also on Instagram and Facebook. That's the second way that you can support. And also the third way that you can support is basically what we just talked about with our Becoming a Real MVP. And I'll be thankful to you all. Any of those ways are helpful. So I appreciate you. So yeah, let's see what we got. My brother, yeah, man, he said, I forgot to donate. I just did a few moments ago. See, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you forget, it's okay. You know, there's no pressure at all. I think I'm just thankful that you remembered. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, Mr. Jackson? Lucretia said, happy support. We appreciate this platform. I know, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the reason why I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. I really do. I love my Bethune-Cookman family. You guys have inspired me so much. So I'm appreciative of it. So all right, let's get to some news. I don't know if you guys have saw, but the Cavs got a new renovation, and this is a clip from that Dave Dijon did for the school with the Wildcat Report. I know you guys, I don't know if y'all tune in those or watch them. I know sometimes it's easy to kind of like scroll by them, but they're really informative. They tell you what's going on campus in these quick little spots. They do a great job putting it together in like a news format, really newsy, has that news feel. But I saw this one and got excited because, listen, let me tell you, hold up, let me take a step back. I don't think these kids realize, like, listen, they wasn't shooting with us in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, we walked so that they could run right now. I'm looking at what they got in the calf, and they got all these selections. And you see, if you look, they got Savory, and they got the new place called Auditions where they get to try new foods and new menu items. And I'm like, man, we had the baseline, the base lunch line, and no disrespect, I love my school, but we was eating jail food. You know what I'm saying? I never get going in there after band or before band practice and them having that same, I don't know if it was like tilapia or whatever white fish they used to have, and they had that dry salt rice. I call it salt rice because it was just rice. It wasn't no butter on it, and it was a little bit of salt. And you had the water fountain. You either had your choice of orange punch or juice, or maybe it was flat Fanta. Who knows what that was? But we had that, and maybe a little Coke and water, and that was it. And then you had the grill over there off to the side where the two guys would do hamburgers and hot dogs, and you had to wait 45 minutes for a cheesesteak. I mean, come on, man. These kids don't realize how good they have it. They don't know what it was like. They don't understand the struggle. You know what I'm saying? I'm having to go, and the drink machine ain't have no ice in it. You know what I'm saying? Or you go and your food cold. Or, you know what I'm saying? So I'm jealous. Yeah, jail food. That's exactly what I said. That's what it felt like we was eating some days. Not some days the food was good. Some days the food was good, and it was like, all right, okay. But man, it was a lot of days I walked in there, I'm like, come on now, y'all. So yeah, this is big news, man. I'm really happy to be able to walk in, walk into a beautiful redone. Somebody said they got a Starbucks on campus now. It's like we just didn't have that. Now I do remember they had the little, I don't know what it was called, but it was the little restaurant right outside of the calf that used to have like wings and stuff, but it would be open like for like 2 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thankful, and I'll be honest, I'm just hating a little bit. That's all. I'm just hating. The kids are getting a really good experience, and that's what it should be about. I think that's going to be the draw ultimately, is like the amenities, what these kids get to experience, And I'm like really thankful that, they're thinking about how the kids view their time on campus when they get there. And I know they're thinking about their experience when they're making these kinds of wholesale changes to the calf. I know they've expanded it. I'm looking at the pictures there. It's like, that's really cool, man. I'm hating, but I'm also happy. So yeah, let's move it along. This is kind of a cool story. I don't know who all remember Miss Coach Booker, but yeah, she was she did softball for some years and coached women's basketball. Had a few good runs with both teams, and she's getting inducted into the MEAC Hall of Fame. I think it's in March 2026, and she's got. And I have an error down here in the bottom. Title says she was the head women's basketball coach from 1999 to 2021. That's wrong. She had a different title from 99 to 2021. So pardon my error there. But yeah, I remember her with the basketball team mainly. And did y'all know that she was the only. She's the only coach, I think, at Bethune to have wins against FAMU in 2 different sports. She beat him in softball, and she beat him in basketball. I think it's pretty cool, right? Be able to beat your rival twice in 2 sports. It's kind of cool. So, yeah. So much respect to Coach Booker. You don't see her around much, but I know she's doing her thing, and I'm just happy that they're giving some of our important people, giving them their flowers. So kudos to Coach Booker. All right. So listen, before I go into this next story, I want to preface it. This type of story, I'm not going to say generally because I haven't been asked about it. I haven't been asked to do this type of story since I've been doing the show, and mainly because we've been like focusing on like the big issues and kind of presidential search and all of the ills and all the larger, broader successes. But sometimes we have to honor some of the unheralded stories of our institution, and this is a story that I think is just absolutely amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I was reached out to this weekend by Mr. I think he's in here now. I think it's Mr. Vernon Jackson. And he asked for my email. And then I got an email from Judy. I'll see her name because she's on the list. But basically, she sent me a list of 14 marriages, Bethune-Cookman alums that are married, but that have been married for a minimum of 40 years. Like, that is like crazy. There's 14, and that's the first set. So I'll go through and read the names. So Eugene and May Richardson, and some of y'all probably may know these people. They may be your parents or your grandparents or aunts or uncles. Percy and Carmen Williamson, Wesley and Judy Holiday. That's who sent me the list. Glenn and Yvette Reeves, Jimmy and Joyce Mincy, Edward and Eunice Twiggs, Jimmy and Alma Horn, and then we also have Charles and Ann Bell, Ira and Peggy Turner, Ray and Kathy Brinson. I know Ray Brinson from the Alumni Association. I think he was like a former president or something. Somebody knows that. Maurice and Zelda Jones, John and Antoinette William, Josh and who's deceased, and Gwendolyn Linder, and Willie who is deceased, and Sharon Reed. Is that right? Yeah. Listen, y'all. 40 years. All of these people have been married for 40 years. 14 couples. That's amazing. And really, in the in the age of 50-50, it's refreshing to see that there are some couples that like have stood the test of time. I know my wife and I, we are not quite there. We've been together 21 years, married 16. But 40 is far cry away from 40. And the fact that they met at Bethune-Cookman is like, I just think that's crazy, right? Vicar says, me and Angelina are almost there. We're approaching 14. Listen, you almost there, man. You're further along than most. You know what I'm saying? And again, in the era of the 50-50 talk and what's happened, and I'm gonna park here just for a quick second. Just men and women have been pit against each other, especially when you talk about like the whole 50-50 thing and about gender roles and about money and like who does this and who does that. And marriage has turned into like this really like they're turning marriage into this really long transaction where each person is expected to do this in order to like get that. And I haven't been married as long as these amazing couples, but what I do know is they don't talk like that. They don't talk about 50-50. They don't. People that haven't been married for long periods of time don't even understand the concept of 50-50. They just do. Today, maybe the husband has got to hold up the house. Maybe he's got to push a little harder. And because the wife may not be feeling it or may not have it. The same thing on the next day. And it's just like being able to like come together when you need to come together, and every now and then the other person may have to carry the load. And as long as there's no resentment in that, like y'all gonna be all right. But the fact that you got people out here nowadays, just yeah. And the worst part about it, the people that we talking about 50-50 and all this stuff, they don't even be married. They don't even be married. Single out here still in the streets talking about what you ain't gonna do. All right, let me shut up. Let me go ahead and just hush. All right, let's move on. This is actually a bigger story than I think I may be giving it credit for. Mr. Wells and Dr. Mosley both received, I think, proclamations that'll go into, I think, the Capitol or Congressional Hall or something. I'm messing this up. But they got these proclamations the other day, both of them. Dr. Albert Mosley, you can understand that, obviously being the president of Bethune-Cookman University. But Mr. Wells, right? Talk about, like, carrying your weight. Is also going into that prestigious hall, and I think it's a really big deal for him. And I think it's great that they're giving him his flowers while he can still smell them. And so the backstory was this happened at a private fundraiser, I guess, for the band. They kicked off a big fundraiser, and they raised $200,000 on this particular night. I don't know what their goal is, but if you guys remember, when we talked to Mr. Wells earlier in the summer, and he was saying that he wanted the band to be self-funded. He wanted to get to a point where the band didn't necessarily have to rely on a budget from the school, where we've got an alumni base that is strong enough to either supplement what they need or supplement what the school is able to do. So I think this is the start of them, really putting it together. And so I think it's really good. Vicar says, doesn't this bring total funds raised for? It's at least that. It's at least that 1.3, which is, it's not a little bit of money, as they say. One time for the Wildcat love, absolutely. Miss Sky Confections, Holmes. So yeah, I think that's a really good deal. Obviously, like the band, It's the biggest club on campus and probably the most expensive, not named the football team, but they are the most expensive because at least the football team can generate income to offset their cost. The band can't necessarily offset their cost through any income. One could argue they put butts in seats for like classic and stuff, but still that's going to be attributed to football. So them being able to have this money and this start is great. What's up, Jock? Man, how you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. And Vicar says Oswald and Helen Bronson, 66 years. Man, 66 years is incredible. That's back to our past discussion about the managers. So yeah, the band is doing its thing, man. Raising money and getting this thing, rolled off, because I do know that the band they need funding. There's some things that I know they need, and they need our help. And again, remember, we were just talking about everybody asking for money, right? And so we gotta pick causes that I just think that resonate with us, and everybody just do a little bit. I don't think any one person has to do too much. Again, if everybody just does a little bit, I think we do well. Sumner Hutchinson says this event was hosted by attorney Larry Hanfield. If you all know Larry Hanfield, he's also prominent name on our campus. Built our band room. He was also in the band, and he's a big fundraiser for us. So it's good to see him back in the mix fundraising. That could be really, really huge to have him. He's never left, but there was a time when people like him, I think, pulled away a bit. But yeah, that's him holding the plaque. So thank you for that, Sumner. So yeah. What y'all think about that? I think it's cool. That the band is doing its thing, and Mr. Wells and Dr. Mosley are getting Dr. Wells and Dr. Mosley. Let me check myself on that. Are both getting recognized. Two phenomenal people. And man, don't it seem like Dr. Mosley just? I swear, this guy is moving 1,000 miles a minute. It seems like he's getting a lot done, and he's getting in front of as many people as he can possibly get in front of. I do know they were in Miami for I think that might have been for the FIU game, but they had the big alumni meet and greet down to Miami, and so I know that went well. I don't have any news on that, but I know they did the thing for that, and he's making his rounds. I'll be happy. I hope he's gonna make his way up here, up north to Atlanta, and come visit his people up here, but we'll see. All right, so let's talk some football. Oh Lord. Well, y'all, let me pump the brakes. Before we even get into it, I'm pumping the brakes because what I know is people do that thing that we inevitably do with the football team and their games. And they look at the score and they watch the game and they're like, man, we stink again. Not necessarily. We play the number 5 team in the country in FBS, right? We're in FCS. We're a whole kind of in a different subcategory of college football. And we played the 5th best team. And they looked like the 5th best team, and they were playing with us the whole time. They probably could have hung 70 on us. But there were some glimpses of our offense, and even last week too, where you say, I'm seeing something there. Now, we got to show it this weekend, but you can take some little glimpses of things. The 2 biggest things that we wanted to have happen, our 2 biggest goals for the game against Miami, it was what? No injuries and get the check. That was the goal. That was the mission for this past weekend. No injuries or no major injuries and get the check. Check and got the check. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that it looks like we're going to go into play against a friendly foe next week, a winnable game Saturday, fully healthy. I don't know, if there's been any injuries. I don't know if there's anybody that have heard about injuries. Some of the football guys in the chat, but from what I know, I think we're good. That hasn't been the case in the last couple of years. We've lost key guys in these games, which alters our season. And so I think we're in a really good place. To compete on Saturday. And let me tell you something, y'all. If we win Saturday, the math changes for me on what the rest of the season could look like. Because we've seen several teams that have been really good the last few years that they aren't good. Let me tell you something. That school up north, that team is not good. They do not have a good football team. I don't know if they got shut out again this weekend, but that's not a good football team. At least right now they're not. Southern, they've been a solid program the last few years. They're not good. And then you got your usual, the Mississippi States, the Gramblings. These are all winnable games for us now. So if we can go out there and just do our thing, I'm not going to say it, because if I say it, then it's not going to happen. I can tell you right now, if I say it, man, we're going to be in trouble. So I ain't going to say it. But it's all we're going to know everything we need to know on Saturday. We're going to know everything. So on Saturday night or Sunday morning, it's gonna either be a sad weekend because we went out there and got our what's kicked, or it's like, all right, because next week you got Edward Waters, and people are a little worried about Edward Waters because they've been stirring up some dust up there in Jacksonville and beating teams by like 30 points. Now they're not our caliber teams, but I don't know. I'm nervous. That's all I'll say. Vegas says two years ago, yeah, three QBs in 2 games. Yeah, we lost Sprague. Cam got hurt, and then the other kid. It was bad. It was bad. So, yeah. In other football news, and I got to park here for a second. And this is the wrong. Yeah. Let me just turn this off. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm normally more prepared. Let me turn that off. So about the Southern game. The Southern game gets moved. Right, I think it was supposed to be in Daytona or Jacksonville or something like that, and then they moved it to Tampa, and so everybody is set to go to Tampa, and I'm thinking, all right, I didn't like the game being in Tampa, but I mean, whatever, it's new place. I think for the Tampa, that West Coast, Florida market, I think it's good for the school to get out that way, because we don't go out that way that much. So I get it. But if you read through this statement, it says a positive fan experience is a critical part of Bethune-Cookman athletics and the Wildcats football program. It is a mission of our department to ensure Wildcat Nation is provided with the very best amenities, atmosphere, and fan experience as it relates to Bethune-Cookman football. Now let me park here for a second. Now the school has got to make good on that, and I think they're trying to at Municipal, but the stadium experience it's not great at Municipal. Now they've tried to spruce the place up, and they've done some things. But if this is an updated kind of thought for the school, that they really do care about the fan experience at the game, I love to hear that, because they should care about the total experience of the game, from the time you purchase a ticket or the time you get into the city to go to Municipal to the time you leave. Like, everything should be well thought out. And to a degree, it kind of is, but I feel like there are some things that can be improved upon. But it's neither here nor there right now. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm going on. It says, with this in mind, we have made the difficult decision to return the announced Tampa Bay Classic to Daytona Municipal Stadium. We look forward to your support at Daytona Stadium. Information regarding tickets and parking will be forthcoming at BCUathletics.com. Now, I'll tell you what's unfortunate about that is that game is in 4 weeks, I think. I think it's on the 28th, I think, or something like that. I know it's closed. I know it's in September. That's not a lot of time to move a game from one city to the other. That is almost an impossible amount of time. However, I understand after talking to a couple of people what happened. This was not Bethune-Cookman's fault. I want y'all to know that, because some people, as soon as they saw this, they started blaming the school for it. This was not on the school. This was on the promoters, from what I know. And I think it sounded like maybe they may have bit off more than they could chew in terms of what they thought they could do with this game. And I think they found out pretty quickly that maybe that's not going to happen. And yeah, so I think the school, and I don't know if Southern, Lucretia Jones says October 11th. All right. Well, that's still 4 weeks, right? That's still 4 weeks, or close, a little over 4 weeks. But yeah, so I don't want people to think this was a mistake of the school. I think it was more of a mistake of the people that were putting the event on as a football classic. And so, but more importantly, that game should probably be in Daytona anyways. Like, we should be able to play Southern at our stadium. Like, we should. I know we had to do Jackson State up in Jacksonville a couple of years ago, and I think the year before that we did Southern in Jacksonville. And no disrespect, but we probably don't make any money on that game because we probably have to pay so much to use the stadium. So guess what? We go have it at Municipal. Yeah, we got to rent Municipal out too, but we get a sweetheart deal because it's a city stadium. We got people like Derek Fiacher over there helping us get sweetheart deals and stuff like that on renting it and all that. We don't have that at the NFL stadiums. They're going to charge us like they charge everybody else, And so having that game in Daytona, I think, is better for the school, is better for the game. Yeah, we don't have a big, huge stadium yet. But I think that game means, I think a packed Municipal is really good. Even if it's like to capacity, that's good. That's good because Municipal is never at capacity except for homecoming. So if we can find a way to start winning games, and by October 11th, that Southern game is in Daytona, that's going to be a big game, which is great against a really good program. And when I say program, I don't mean this year, I just mean in general. So yeah, just keep, just keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, because I think some people, again, were wrongfully blaming the school for what happened. And it wasn't the school's fault. And again, they're going to have to fall on the axe because they are controlling the tickets. And it's our home game. So obviously we're going to fall on the axe. But I'm seeing some of the comments that I was saying that should have stayed in Daytona from the jump. I agree. It was on the promoters, yes. And yeah, some people saying the same thing, that it's on the 11th. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was on the 28th, but I think mixing all my days. Not being negative, but didn't the school select the promoter? That would make it their fault. I don't know how that works, especially when it comes to the classic games. I do think both schools have to agree, especially if it's a neutral site game. Neutral site games mean both teams have to agree on everything. Like we wouldn't control the game. Yeah, we'd probably be the home team, but we wouldn't control like all of the particulars that we would in an actual home game. So I'm not saying they don't have any culpability. I'm just saying that I don't think it's inherently the school's fault. If somebody says they can do this and maybe they got a track record of doing it, and then this time they don't do it, I'll give the school grace on that. But I take your point. And a packed municipal is a great experience. It really is. Anytime municipal is full, like those, that is a good game. That's a really good game. SU versus BCU is a moneymaker. That game should be packed. Bring in the high school students and lure the students in. Yeah, I don't even think you have to do all of that. I think that game. I think we should. Now, I don't know if we will. Now, if we ain't winning games by say October, and if we're like doing that thing we've been doing, and we're like 0-6, and I'm striking that down now. I'm not putting that out into the atmosphere. Give me that one back, Lord, because we don't want that. But I'm just saying, if we're having a tough season of it again by this game, then yeah, I don't think it's gonna be packed, because right now Southern is not having a great start of it. We need both the teams to be really good to like guarantee that, like, okay, this thing is going to sell out. Like, this thing is going to be a big game, because we just haven't had a big home game that wasn't homecoming in a long time. In the MEAC, we used to have them all the time. Anytime South Carolina State was in town, anytime A&T was in town, like, those were big games. But in the SWAC, like, they ain't, a lot of times they don't bring their band. The people don't want to travel all the way out this way when they can just go 2 hours to any city out there in the Midwest area. So, it's some math that I think some of the people have to consider. Lucretia says, I wonder if Southern will bring their band. Listen, and if that game will be packed if Southern decides to bring their band, regardless of the football team scores. If Southern brings their band, that game is going to be packed. That game will be packed. Are they going to bring their band? They don't have a great history of coming to Daytona. I don't know if they've ever been to Daytona. We've seen them in the last 20 years. We've seen their band in Florida for a Bethune-Cookman game one time, and that was back in 2006, and that was in Jacksonville. Other than that, I haven't. Yeah, they don't come this way much. So maybe they're due a trip here, But I think that would be a great opportunity to promote, recruit, like all of that stuff. All right, let me go back to the comments. Let's see. Well, y'all doing whole strategy sessions. Our African American churches. Why you call them African American churches? A black church could give tickets to their youth organizations to introduce them to the HBCU experience. Yeah, I agree. That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, you got all kind of ideas. Boys and Girls Club, youth organizations should get a big discount. Yeah, now you don't have to give a whole bunch of discounts because the stadium ain't that big where you got to just be giving away tickets. Municipal only seats 10,000, so you don't have to do a whole lot of discounting and giving away stuff. A game of that magnitude against that school, and especially if they bring their band, you won't have to give away tickets. The name of the game is still to make money, right? That's why you want the game in Daytona, because you get to make the box from that game. And so that's important to remember. Does the band, they came into, I was at that game, but did the band come? I don't remember. I was at the game, but I think you're right. They did come. The band did come. I think it was Jackson State that didn't come to Jacksonville 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Maybe I got them mixed up. Yeah, BCU played Jackson State in Daytona for homecoming last year. Yeah, that started out as a good game and then ended up getting our ass whooped. Excuse me. That's my curse word for the day, y'all. I'm done. No more. What's up, Big Bree? Moving a band cost a lot of money. Is this game making a lot of money? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I agree with that. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up because again, I know there's some false narratives going around for the game and about whose fault it is. And at this point, it don't really matter. They had to move the game back to Daytona. That's a win for us. No other way to slice it. People be able to change their hotel rooms and cancel. There's enough time. It's not like it's the week of. So yeah. All right. Final story. This I wanna touch on this. Golden Honors ends Friday. We've got quite a bit of submissions up to this point, and it says it opens Friday. No, it closes Friday. This is another one of my not paying attention on my screen. As a matter of fact, let me change this now so y'all can see it. Closes on Friday. We have a schedule that we're trying to follow. Not that we're trying to follow. We're going to follow it. We are ending nomination period midnight on Friday, and then the committee, which we'll talk about in a second, the committee will go. They'll deliberate. They will go through all the submissions, and they will determine based on our scoring and rubric system who will get an application. Everyone won't get an application because that's not the point. Is to find the best stories, to people who are doing the most significant things with respect to like everybody who else is been nominated. So keep that in mind. The categories, there are 3 categories. Current students, and listen, if there's any students watching tonight, and I've been meaning to connect with them, we've only got a couple of student submissions. We'd love to have more, but I know they're not locked in with us as much as I would probably want them to be. But students, current seniors, can be selected. Alumni, if you are 40 and under, there's a category for you. And then there's a category for 40 if you're over 40, which is our vanguard. And those are our seasoned saints and people who, again, might be late bloomers to their careers or to their own personal stories, right? Like, we want to recognize everybody at every stage, right? The new pre-alumni, the kind of the salt of the earth alumni, like the biggest group, which is, again, probably the under 40. And then the seasoned saints that are, a little bit more experienced, that are doing things that, should be recognized. Maybe they didn't get 40 under 40. So let's talk about the committee. And here we go. Nominations open Friday. I don't know what I was doing today, y'all. I thought I was prepared. This is our committee. And you may know these people. Michelle Holmes, which is my lovely wife, she's also the committee chair. I know you're like, why you got your wife doing it? But listen, she's really good with this kind of stuff. And her and I, we do believe in excellence. So I knew I could trust her on this first go round to make sure that this goes off in a way that is representative of the AV and everything we're trying to do. And we want the people that get recognized to feel like they're like it's special. And so it is going to be special. Like, if y'all know anything about how we roll over here on the AG, y'all know we don't never half-ass do anything. God dog, that's my second curse word. Okay, I'm in the deficit now. I can't say no more curse words. Michelle gives me 3 a week, and that was my second one. But anyways, I'm joking. Michelle Holmes, committee chair. She's doing a great job. Adam Brooks, those of you who may know him, he was in the band. He's a big name up here in Atlanta in terms of the music scene and marching band scene, and he's like super big in the education department. He used to work at a high school, and now he works at the county office, I believe. And then Darnell Walker, who's a Grammy award-winning author, writer. He's like a death doula. He does, I think, a bunch. Darnell do everything. So he's like an alumni's alumni. You see him every year at homecoming. Like, he know everybody. So again, another great person. Chantel Pelzig, who is a worker's worker. She works. And this is just somebody who you want to have on, who exudes everything that alumni is supposed to represent. Like, she got a heart of gold. And these are people who I believe will do right by all of us. And then Dennis Murphy, he's an accounting major. He represents a little, I don't want to say too much younger, but I think he represents the newer era of Wildcats, and he's doing great things up here in Atlanta as well. Super intelligent guy, and yeah, I'm happy about him. And then Miss Tiffany Spencer, who's like a whole movement by herself. She's got a really big Salesforce conference for Black people that she does every year, and people of color. I don't want to say colored people, but people of color. It's called Dreaming in Color, and she does this really big, extravagant event every year. But she's a techie, and so I think we run the gamut in terms of the types of people who are on the committee, and all of them are premium alumni, like top tier alumni, and so they make up our committee, and they are the ones who will be helping us pick, that group of 25 who will represent our inaugural Golden Honors recipients. So it's going to be a good deal, man. And so I'm encouraging everyone, if you want to nominate, you can't nominate yourself. You have to be nominated. Don't be shy. Y'all know how y'all going to, just go ask your buddy or something. Hey, man, nominate me. But nominations close on Friday. And I won't say the number of nominations, but I'm not lying when I say it's a lot. So we got a whole system. We know how we're going to go through them. We're going to be as equitable as we can to each and every one of them and give them all their due. So, yeah, I think that's going to be great. And so if there's any questions, feel free. If you want to ask me now, you can. This is a good time. We got maybe, let's see, Ricky says, that's a good question. Can you nominate family? Of course. Yeah. We actually have there's actually a selection on the form where we ask you, like, how are you related? And so as long as you are connected to the school somehow, you don't have to be an alumni to be, because there's some people that love Bethune-Cookman just like we do, where they didn't go to the school. I think about Wanda Todd. She didn't go to Bethune, and you would think I thought she did for the longest. But like, if she were to nominate somebody, like, we wouldn't throw it out, because we know she has the school's best interest at heart. So, yes, you absolutely can nominate family. And so the key is to we want to be able to group think in finding exceptional alumni. Like, that's kind of what the exercise is finding exceptional alumni and recognizing them. Like, that's the whole gist of it, and doing it in a way that is like honorable to them, that they would be like, man, they really made me feel special about what I'm doing. So yeah, this is a great question. And this is also on the site. So let me say this. It says, if you won 40 under 40 in previous years, could you still be nominated? Yes, you can still be nominated. I do believe in that. Maybe we do want to make sure that preference is given to people that haven't been rewarded. But listen, like, if the profile speaks for itself, it'll speak for itself. And so that's all I'll say to that. We won't count it out. We won't say yay or nay, just submit, right? And Yes. There she goes. That's Miss Todd. I didn't attend BCU, but my entire family did. So yeah, she's honorary. Like, this is what I'm talking about. She's honorary. Like, and I asked her a couple of years ago. I was interviewing her, and I'm just asking her stuff about the campus and stuff, and she just like, yeah, Steven, I don't know if you know this or not, but I didn't actually go to Bethune-Cookman, and I was like, what you mean you didn't go to Bethune-Cookman? And so I found out she didn't, but you wouldn't know it because she'd be everywhere. She got all the videos, take all the pictures. You know, her and her kids and her husband was marching man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it. Let's see what we got. Mr. Hunt, how you doing, man? I know you probably was itching to call in tonight, but yeah, we're not doing the phone line tonight. But it is great that you all are not territorial towards those who did not attend the institution but are supporters. Of course, I don't think. And now, I won't lie, as a committee, we did wrestle with it a little bit. We did, try to figure out, should that be a disqualifying factor? And I'm like, no, because I don't want to give any reason for anybody to not be selected as long as they graduated and they're an alumni of the institution. Like, who submits you is not that big of a deal. Like, as long as you got the body of work that is representative of somebody who we want to honor, then, it is what it is. So, yeah. Guys, I think that's all I got tonight. I was hoping to have an interview, but again, that fell through. But I appreciate y'all. This is another good one. Where do we submit nominations? I'm gonna put that in the comments. Y'all give me 1 second. And I'm gonna put it in the comments so y'all can see it. And I add that to the. This is where you go. The at bcu.com/golden honors. And that'll take you to our site, and you can submit. And again, you have up until Friday midnight. And it is a hard cutoff. We're not opening up the windows. If don't text me on Saturday or call me or email me and say, hey, can you open it up? I forgot. Baby, that ship will have been 100 miles down the river. So please get it in before Friday. There are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. All right, because this has been open for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. So no exceptions. I love y'all, but you know what I'm saying? We got to do things decent in order. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all tonight. I know I think I teased y'all with a little bit of news, but I can't. Yeah, it's not a thing yet. So I'll keep teasing y'all until we get there. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Make sure you find us on Instagram, Facebook, even on TikTok. Follow us, people. If you want to be a real MVP, please do so by going to this little thing right here and donating to the cause. All right. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hail Wildcats. And listen, I will see y'all next week. These Tuesdays, man, they be sneaking up on you, boy. But nonetheless, love y'all. Hail Wildcats. And I'm out of here. Peace.